All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Zenful Conversations. I'm your host, Zenjen Brown, and today have the opportunity to have a conversation with Juliana Bruno. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Super, super. Um, Juliana, welcome to the conversation. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited.
It's kind of fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Um, and I just would like to ask you to tell us a little bit about who you are and what that means to you, and what prompted you to say yes to having conversation.
Oh, wow. Okay. Hi, I'm Juliana. I am a writer. That's my book behind me, Reasons to Live. It's about working through dark times. So there's a lot in there about suicide awareness and how to help others move through dark times and survive. And so, really, that's what the book is about. It has a lot of sort of mindfulness exercises in there and different questions you can ask yourself, and a lot of journaling and writing kind of prompts, and just a little bit of everything so that we all come to this journey of who we are and where we're going and why we're here in different ways. And there's no just really one cookie cutter way. That's my belief anyway. We all find our own healing in all kinds of different things, including this type of a conversation, which I think is so, so important for people to come forward and tell their story and talk about who they are and what they're working on, and to come with it with a sense of vulnerability, because that is just really important in the human experience, so that we all are able to give ourselves permission to talk freely about what we're struggling with, because there's no one out there that gets through this process without struggle,
No,
grief,
and it's real
loss.
important. It's real
Yeah,
important because you are the ones that are showing up for yourself and
right,
working with this through this to understand it a little bit better on some level anyway. There's lots of layers, right?
right.
um so I think from what my view is there's a bit of an obligation because not everybody knows how to show up for themselves to
Yeah.
this extent, and if you've gone through the work to produce a book like that, there's a lot of depth there.
Yeah, it's true. I feel like so many of us have this deep, rich experience about what it's like to go through something challenging, or to suffer, or to experience loss and joy. But often I find that, for myself personally, that, this expression of those emotions was not really celebrated, right? It's not so celebrated. You have certain emotions you can project to the world, but other ones you cannot, and you can't stay in that space. And, there's just so many rules to your emotional life that society is pressuring you with, or putting upon you, that sometimes we lose a sense of what is our emotional, mental, soul self. We lose touch with that. It becomes this physical body that we're working in, and this persona we've created of what the world or others are expecting of us, and we don't really know who we actually are.
Yeah, wow, boy, is that, well, it's so true in my mind. um and it's not to say I want to back up. My mind is talking to me here about saying I think we have an obligation to this, and that's not that we to me. I want to back up. Everybody doesn't have an obligation to share. But to me, it's about my obligation to myself. If I've gone that far, to me, this is part of the practice. This
Right.
this is now becomes my practice, is kind of what I meant. as obligation. And since we're the ones that are showing up, I've learned how. By golly, I never knew how to show up. I was the furthest thing from showing up for myself. But
Right.
since I've learned a little bit of this path, I do feel like it's important to share it. For some reason, do you care about the whys? Like, I don't, I keep figuring out why I have this mission type thing.
Right.
Just, is it important for you to know why?
Um, Sometimes I think, like one of the things, it's really resonates with me what you're saying about like showing up for yourself, right? Because so often, we think there's this, even though there's all these sayings around, it's the journey, not the destination, and all, we still think there is some destination that we're headed to. And only recently have I discovered that, oh, all of life this, is this working on yourself? Is this coming to yourself at a different angle? Is this doing this deep, hard work that it's sometimes hard to face those shadows you have inside or things you've been um, grappling with and to be able to do that work and discuss it with others, sometimes it's the only way you hear what your next step is. Like, for example, I have this friend who's around the same age as me, and we chat on the phone. She lives in Taos, and I live in California, but um, we kind of have this very we're walking this linear path right now. It's kind of, she's in a different space than me, but it's the same in so many ways. And we'll just casually be talking about our life or something that happens. And we'll have these like huge epiphanies. Like she mentioned something the other day of like, I think I am structuring my whole life around this wound I have. And I've been letting this wound dictate everything that I am since that moment. And I was like, oh my gosh, if I'd never had that conversation with my friend, I would never realize I too do that. I too have kind of structured my entire life around this wound, including like how I respond to other people, what I think of myself, what I say to myself, what I think I'm capable of or not capable of, and the things that I think I'm not getting in life, right? Like I'm invisible. I'm, all these things that I've created as part of who I am. If I had not had that conversation with her, I would have never realized that, oh, this wound, I am organizing my whole life around it. I mean, I knew the wound and the trauma was there and that it had shaped me in these certain ways, but I did not realize just the depth to which I had organized my life around it, and I would have never known. I would have never known. So conversation is huge, like journaling. You never know what's really in there till you start talking about it or writing about it or
Yeah.
discussing it with others, you don't
You know
know.
that what did you call it? You wrapped yourself around?
Yeah, I just had
Well,
organized my
that
whole
that
life.
it can be
Hmm.
huge too, uh,
Right.
to where you're in total denial even.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Because it's hard to acknowledge, like, for one, it's
Some
hard.
of these life things
Yeah.
are stumbling for sure.
Right. Right.
That's where I started. That's where I
Yeah.
started. It led me through learning about myself and beginning to love myself all the way through to becoming a yoga therapist,
Hmm.
and women's empowerment leader, which is pretty cool. But that
Yeah.
is what I've learned on the way back up. I want to also make sure you have time to read some of your writings if you'd like to do that.
Oh,
But what prompted you to say yes to doing this?
exactly that. For one, I've attended some of your conversations that you have and that you do, and I was just so enriched by it. I left feeling exactly what I was talking about in that conversation I was having with my friend. Like, wow, I've had these kind of epiphanies about myself, and this conversation I need to think deeper about, and that, although I've always sort of written poetry, I've never really I'm not a poet per se. I'll write some little something, and I really don't know much about the structure of poetry or the literary components of poetry. I would just write something when the moment sparked me. And one of the particular talks I attended that you did, that you were talking about poetry specifically and how healing it was. And I realized, like, that is an amazing practice I can bring to myself, to my own journaling practice as I'm discovering who I am. And it was just so valuable to me and so important to me. And then when you invited me, I was like, of course, I want to be part of this conversation. It's changing lives, really. Really, what your work is
Oh,
changing lives.
thanks. Oh, it's, you know what? It's changing mine for sure. Because I've actually amped up things. I mean, we've been around, me, and me and my ancestors,
Right.
um, since 2019 with this. And for the first 6 years, I read every day something. Last on 2024, it was the Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo.
Mhm.
And but I we had a hurricane here, and I evacuated for the first time in my life, and I missed a day, and it was the first day in 6 years. And uh I realized it was okay. The world wasn't going to end. And when I came back, there was just a lot to do. My house was in good structure, everything was fine, but there was so much cleanup, and I just like it's too tired. And I'm like, I'm gonna put this down for a bit, and whatever happens, happens. And so now it's been, I guess it was resting for about 6 months.
Mhm.
And we've come back now with just more of these conversations. These now are newer, these one-on-one intimate conversations. I want to have conversations with anybody pretty much that'll have them with me. Um, and Also something newer is the poet spotlight, which I'm thinking you might
Mhm.
want to consider doing, which
Right.
is to feature you or a writer of some type, take your book and have some time to explain how the book came to fruition, if you choose to, and maybe have the people that are show up for the let's be open to people to attending, and the people that attend maybe a little discussion about something to contemplate, not necessarily write or journal, but a few minutes to contemplate, and then some healthy discussion on it, something like that. So it's not quite a workshop, not quite a conversation, but I'm wanting to do a little bit more than just have the Q&A that it has been. But I think you would be a great forward if you were interested in doing that. Um, do you have
Yeah,
something to read?
I would be honored to do that. And yeah, that sounds amazing. I would also
Yes,
to
sounds
attend something like
wonderful.
that.
Well, we have writing workshops every Thursday at
Yeah,
4 Eastern, so that's 1 p.m. Pacific if you're available. This Thursday is the Enlightened Writer, and it's Awakening Through Writing or something like that. And it's with
oh, nice.
Ginny East, who her latest book is The Enlightened Writer, and it's about writing through clearing your chakras and
Nice.
a lot of cool stuff. So this Thursday, if you're available, I'll send you an email. But
Yeah, send me
everything's
an
on
email.
zenfulconversations.com, has the full, and everything's no charge.
Yeah, yeah, I've perused all the things on your website before. So exciting. That sounds really great, actually.
Cool. Yeah. Well, yeah, I think so too. And I think you might enjoy it as well. Laying a little bit heavy on it. I always feel like I'm trying to sell things. I'm like, I'm not selling them. First of all, they're free. They're free. And there's no catch or nothing like that. This is me showing up for myself in a deeper way is basically, and that's what it partly is. because I think the world has gone mad, and
Mhm.
it nourishes me to have these conversations
Right, yeah.
and to listen to your writing. Thank you.
Okay, let's see. I don't really have anything pre prepared. I will read the first part of the book, the prologue, which it
Okay,
kind of
cool.
sets the tone for what the book is about. And
Okay, great.
I'm dyslexic, so excuse me if I
Oh, please.
stumble a
That's
little
the
bit.
beauty of these. That's the beauty of these. We embrace
Right.
imperfection.
I know that's the part of my getting out of my comfort zone, which I think is so important, is to do reading in public since I became an author. And that's been, yeah, it's been a experience in itself. But
Cool.
now this will be part of the experience. Okay. Uh,
Exactly.
okay, so I'm going to read the prologue. How this book came to be. Dear friends, this book is not what you think. It isn't about clinical modalities and ideas, although there are many mentioned here. It is not a medical reference guide. This book is about community. It is about you and me and everyone else who is reading this. It is a collective nod of the understanding between us. I am not here to tell you how to be or what went quote unquote wrong. I am here to tell you that you are human and humans hurt. Humans feel with their mind, body, and soul. They feel all there is all at once. They ache with the pain that has been woven into every part of who they are. They work on change, give up, cry 10,000 tears, and then 10,000 more. They rant, they spew anger bullets to all that stand near. They regret, they are frozen in fear. Memories debilitate them. They are broken into 1,000 pieces, and each piece is broken into 1,000 more. They are lost in the dark woods. They are left without water in a never ending desert. They are in the badlands of the mind and the drought of the soul. Whatever landscape you find yourself in, look around. You aren't alone. There are more of us out there in the badlands than those beautifully poised on clouds of bliss. We are a community. I see you, I hear you, you matter, you are enough, and I love you. Throughout this book, I will be brutally honest with you, making sure I come to you with the most authentic and brave truth I can possibly bring. I can only offer you what I know, my experiences, and how I emerged through my own darkness. Before we begin, here are a few truths I will give you as tools along the journey. Your emotions are not wrong. You are not broken. You are already complete, even though you may not feel like it. Your inner wisdom knows the path, even if you are overwhelmed and your vision is clouded. You are loved, you are enough, your feelings are valid, your story is essential, and some of us want to hear it. Your voice and your words are the salvation of others. You have something to contribute that is beautiful and rare. And then it goes on and on. But yeah,
Wow, that's powerful.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna take a breath with that.
Mhm.
Wow. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Um, can you tell me about that painting on your wall?
This one, the I Love You. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that in an antique store. Okay, this is a fun story. So it was a birthday I had about 10 years ago, and I decided that, you know, for my birthday, I am going to treat myself to just giving freely, you know, and redefining my birthday because often so much weight is put into your birthday, right? And as you get older, you know, I was at this milestone of 50 and I was like, now you're getting older, your birthdays are no longer that fun, and you start kind of regretting them a little. And then there's this whole thing of, do I actually tell people how old I am, or do I, talk around it, or, it's, it's, it's a real, it can be a real kind of dark time, right? To just really grapple with this. Wow, so much of my life is over now, and do I have these regrets? And I was just in the depths of all this, what have I done with the first 50 years of my life, and
Yeah,
get
right. I've
serious,
had that.
and what do you need? What, and moving forward, how are you going to be in the world? You've never defined yourself as this older woman, and yeah, I hated my career, and I just hated all these things about how I had structured my life and what it had come to be at 50, and my thoughts about, okay, when you're an old person, in my young person mind, when you're an old person, you're going to have it all together, and you'll have like the new car and all these things, and da da da, and be happily ever after. And it's really grappling with the reality of what life actually really is, and that just how unprepared you are for that, which I think you feel a little bit of that when you hit 30, or I certainly did. But 50 was like, oh my gosh, I've seen pictures of my parents in their 50s, and you look so old, and all these things weighing down really heavy. And my birthday's at the end of the year, so I had this whole year of the weight of turning 50. And so I decided I'm going to turn my birthday into just this giving, because, at least I had the capacity to be able to give. So I went all around my little downtown, and I went into galleries and shops, and I just bought whatever I saw that I thought someone else would really love. And then I'm just going to give it to them, not as any, I'm not going to wait for any particular holiday or their birthday. I'm just going to give to give. And it was so wonderful. I bought all these really beautiful things for people, and gave them out, and I had just so much joy about it. And halfway through the day, kind of stopped and had a little nosh, and at this beautiful new restaurant I would have never gone into before, and just really doing something completely different. And I saw that thing on the wall in this antique store, but I'm like, today's not about me. If it's still here when I return, later on, whenever that is, I will know it's for me. The universe wants me to have it, and I will buy it for myself at that point. And that's exactly what happened. 2 or 3 weeks later, I was right next door, and then I thought, I'm going to go in there and see if that's still there. And it was still there. And so I bought it. So that's how it came to
Cool.
be in my possession.
I like it.
Yeah,
Caught my
yeah,
eye. It definitely, definitely cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I'm 61 now, and um I love it though. I love the freedom, a lot of freedom that comes with this aging thing to me. I've changed my whole career as well, but I think we get to decide who and what we want to be.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's I'm now having some gray come into my hair. I haven't dyed my hair. I went what I used to be a bleach blonde
right.
until the COVID came and it shut down, and then my hair started growing out its natural color, and I didn't have any gray. And my hair started getting healthier than it had been in years. So I decided to leave it dark. It was hard to get used to being dark hair.
Yeah,
Uh, but now I'm having some gray come in, and it's an interesting thing, this whole process. But I like that I don't owe anybody an explanation anymore.
yeah, I love that.
I just don't. And if I'm being too nice for your comfort level and it bothers you somehow, I am sorry about that. But I have found my people. You
Right.
guys have show up for yourself. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. I love your writing. I love
Thank
your
you.
writing. So tell me, just talk. What's on your mind? Did you think anything in particular you wanted to say when you were, coming on, or?
Wow. Well, no, really, I just thought like, okay, we'll see how, we'll see how this unfolds or what rolls out. And, no, that's not totally true. I will say that, yeah, this morning I was thinking, oh, I wonder what we're going to talk about. And
Hmm.
if, my recent life would play into it at all or anything like that, if it's going to be more about, my professional life, not my personal life, which are very interwoven at this point,
Yeah,
which I'm sure you
it
feel
can
the
be
same.
whatever you want,
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
well,
pe-
I
uh,
I I felt again, I was talking to the same friend last night, and we were talking about our relationship to money and how we both have challenges with that because we're both kind of experiencing a situation where um, people have taken from us, and and we're experiencing this situation of why do people always take from us? Why is this always happening? We realize we're people pleasers, and I recently realized I'm an overgiver. I so do that for acceptance all the time. It's still something I'm working on, but I realized that about myself, and she did as well. And we were talking about what is this, money relationship? It's not that we aren't trying to manifest it and we're really looking at our shadows around it and trying to figure it out and really working with it, and why is it so elusive? And both of us have this thing where we will give away our work, all the time. All the time. I will she's a therapist. She'll give away free sessions. She has a hard time asking people for like their credit card and things like that. And it's just really challenging. And I have that same in my coaching business and things. And we just, why is that? Why is that? And then she mentioned something where she was like, I think it might be tied to my spirituality in that I have the notion that service should be free because I grew up in a religion where you helped people. You help people, and you didn't say you owe me $20 now. You just helped out of the goodness of your heart all the time. And so she was saying she had this challenge of feeling like her service had worth. And then I mentioned like I feel the same. I kind of feel like I'm not worthy of money, and so why would anyone give it to me? So I'm already if I'm trying to manifest something, I'm already shutting it down
you're
by
already shutting it down, yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
There's so much there, but well, have you read? Are you familiar with the five love languages?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so the gifts, the acts of service and the gifts. A huge gift giver here. I've changed lately over the past few years, um, because I'm understanding the minimal life a little bit more. And you know what?
Right.
Everybody's got too much stuff, and it's all stuff. So I'm not really, although anybody will not tell you, will tell you I'm absolutely an overgiver. You go to my workshops and I practically pay you buying gifts that you leave with than when I end up making at the place. But to me, as far as that goes, this is my standard of how I want my darn retreat to be. And
Hmm.
I cannot charge you as much as it's really worth. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Uh, you know, but I have my own standards. I want it to be a certain way. And um, I believe what you give will come back, and it may look differently than what you think, and it might be not in the form of that particular paycheck here, but I swear I believe it to be true, and I'm really banking on it.
Me too. Me too, exactly. I realized that around money, I have these big notions about karma. Like if I have money, that's bad karma. So I should give it away because that's good karma. And like all these things about like around money and its karmic value as far as what I think it is and what I think should be done with it. And there's many more things around my relationship to
Yeah,
money.
there's a couple good books about the energy of money.
Yeah, yeah,
That I
exactly.
because it sounds like, I mean, I'm from was from here. I'm different. I've changed in a lot of ways over these past probably three-ish years. Uh, but there's a couple good books on that. Boy, it
Hmm.
sounds like it'd be a great conversation, the three of us together, you and your
Yeah,
friend, and yeah.
I think a lot of
Um,
people are really experiencing that so much so. But it led me to really think about my reality and how I'm, you know, organizing what my financial life is like, and that you can change your reality is what you make it, right? So you can change
oh, it
that.
changes every day anyway. I mean,
Right, right,
you know, it's to me, I don't know, it's maybe a really more of a moment by moment because of intuition plays such a big part
right.
for me. And I think if the quieter I am, the more I can hear.
Right.
Hmm. What about peace? How do you stay in a, or not stay in a, how do you bring yourself? We're living in a definite chaotic world, and
Right.
what are your practices these days?
Wow. Well, I have a lot of practices. My next book is journaling through um, disruptive change and uncertainty. It's going to have a different name, but that's kind of the premise of what the book is about. It's about journaling your way through that and finding hope, peace, happiness in all these different modalities that you can choose. So that's definitely something I've been working with for a long time. I think now, especially, it's really hitting hard for so many people, myself, and it sounds like you included.
Who's not affected? I mean, it's getting worse by the darn minute here.
Right, right, right. I'm a huge meditator. I really think, I mean, so much of the divine or guides or whatever you want to think or however you construct that for yourself seem to come through when I'm meditating. And then also just the peace of meditating in the now, in this moment is has been really helpful to me. And I've really kind of anchored myself there and taking this pause when things get too much, taking a pause. I also do news cleanses pretty frequently just because I can get obsessed with what's happening in a certain something I think is horrific, which there's lots to choose from right now. And just taking a break from that or limiting myself in some way so it doesn't become the everything that I'm thinking about all the time, the obsessing about. And meditation really helps with that kind of obsessive mind or racing mind that we can tend to have when we're feeling unsafe and not secure. Journaling's huge for me. I have a huge journaling practice that I really stick to. I think having these kinds of conversations is so important because realizing you're not alone in your panic or your grief or your stress or your, is the world even going to be around next year and all the things that kind of go through your mind is to find solace and a place to rest in the hands of others who are also kind of feeling that same way and that support that can happen there and really realizing you need support before it gets to a place where you're in crisis is an art form because we close off so much of what we think and who we are and our own intuition that we don't realize we're in crisis until we're in crisis and we've been in crisis for a while.
Yeah, right. That's what I
Yeah.
was wondering too. Because I mean, the depth of these conversations, and a lot of the stuff there's not even words for, and nobody totally knows how to describe what we're talking about,
Right.
really. But um, vibrationally speaking,
Mm,
in order to even feel, to me, to be in tune with my intuition, it's I need to not be like freaking stressed out about something or another.
hmm
So it's about how long it takes me to recognize that I'm out of alignment, let me just say. And
hmm
then when I recognize that I'm out of alignment, do I take a breath and do something about it? Or do I keep forging forward into this stress?
hmm
So I think, to me, in a way, that's the practice. Are you good at recognizing it quickly?
Sometimes not, right? Sometimes you don't even realize you're upset about something until you're telling someone else. Something will happen during the day that you're really upset about, and you handle it, whatever it is. Say it's a interaction with somebody that doesn't go positively, or you're blindsided by something, or you see something horrible, um, and you don't really know how you think about it till you at the end of the night when you're telling somebody about it, or you're journaling about it or something like that. You don't even know you're upset or sad or mad or anything. You're just moving forward with your day because we're really taught to just do that, right? Just move forward, react to the stimuli, and then move to the
Yeah.
next one and the next
It's
one and the
not
next
that
one.
cut and dry either.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's not just this or that.
right.
It's a lot more fluid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to recognize. I think you have to work at it to recognize.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
think
even
that's a lot of the practice there.
right.
But I'll tell you one thing I really love are these the sound bowls. I've got them all over the place, but even the tiny ones. I've
Mm-hmm.
got one in my kitchen, and I'll tell you, if I just remember to just ding it a time or two and put it up like this in front of me, it just like, it's like, oh, and it
Yeah.
just doesn't take much, but to remember, some people think it's a little bit wacky. And, like maybe you don't do it because somebody's around in the room.
Right.
So that's the people pleaser thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's
And
okay to
also,
care about them, but don't care about them more than yourself.
right, right. And yeah, I always think like, but have you tried it? Because have you ever been to a sound bath? It's really amazing. Like, if people can just be open enough to even exploring these things, they're immediately discounting. But to discount before you even actually know
That's
is,
resistance, though. It
yeah,
ain't gonna happen.
it's just hurting yourself. It's
Because even if they went through with it, the resistance would still be there and it would not be
right,
received the way we would hope.
right, right. Exactly, exactly.
So
It's a hard place to be, like that whole I was just having this conversation with a teacher. I was on a retreat and I was saying, I really loving kindness is a guiding practice for me, but I am confused as to when like what are the boundaries of loving kindness? Are there any, boundaries? Do you just nice to everybody all the time? Are you just following in the footsteps of past gurus or monks or the Buddha or whomever to of this just accepting what it just not like where do boundaries come in and all of that, and where is that, where are there edges
again,
of
I think
loving
it's more
kindness?
fluid to me. I'm not sure there's a defined edge.
I think it's just if
Okay, this
you
is too far, that's too far. I think it's more of a sense thing,
yeah, yeah,
but making sure we don't lose ourselves in the process, because I think that's, if there's a boundary, me, I got lots of, I, there's sometimes I'm way too generous, and
hmm
sometimes not, depending on the energy I think around it or whatever. But
right, right.
um well, I forget where I was going with that. Dag nabbit, it was good too. This
The
always
boundaries,
happens when
the
I got something.
boundaries around.
Oh, about yeah, about ourselves. As long as we're not, you know, caring more about them than us, or even sometimes caring more about them than they care for themselves.
Right, which is often the case because that makes you want to care about them more.
And then so what? That makes us a fixer too.
Right.
But we're not
Exactly.
here to fix anybody. We have to honor their own lessons and
Yes.
quit meddling in their stuff.
Yes,
And turn to
exactly.
pay attention to this here, the lots and lots of layers. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I thought that felt selfish for the longest time.
Right, exactly. Exactly. And yeah, do you just give and give and give and have the faith that it will return to you in some way because of the energetic exchange, or are you are or is there boundaries or is there, do you put yourself first and not others first or do
Yeah,
you,
I don't know. I
you
think
know?
my whole definition, this is very interesting. Very interesting, Juliana. I think my whole definition of this giving has changed. I don't feel like I'm giving, giving, giving. I feel like I'm giving to me,
Nice.
and it's coming out because this is my practice and it's coming out, but it's not depleting at all. It's not me giving. I'm not giving. It's different. It's wild. I can't even explain it.
Right.
But
Well,
yeah.
yeah, Ram Dass says something to the effect of, which I think is so true, the greatest gift you can give to others is to work on yourself. And it's so true. I think that's just so true. Like when you were talking about the people with resistance, their greatest gift could be to work on themselves because that gives them more acceptance for what's around. I just think that that's so true. That's one of the greatest gifts we can do, but our society often
Oh yeah.
couches that as like, oh, you're being selfish. Oh, you're being
There's a
conceited.
lot about society that I've been kind of disillusioned by.
Right.
Like I'm like looking for something I haven't been. Like I was like, is everything totally different than my beliefs have been my entire life? You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot there. So I've brought it back, brought it in a little bit closer. Um, when do you think your next book is going to come out?
I think it will probably be next summer. So 2026 in the summer sometime. And I'll kind of keep everybody abreast on my website and all of that. And I also have a podcast called I Care About You. And so I sometimes I'll give a
Great. Let's talk a
update
little bit
there.
more about since you're willing to and you're sharing about yourself a little bit. Tell us a little bit more about what it is you do, your work in this world, if you don't mind.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I do a lot of writing and blogs and things like that. Obviously, I wrote a book and I'm writing another book, actually, a series of books that will be coming out in the next couple of years around journaling. I do a lot of journaling. I lead journaling groups. I'm a transformational coach, so I also coach people on shifting their lives or when they're changing careers or changing their life in some way or feeling like they've got off their path and they need to get back on. I'm a meditation teacher and I have a podcast called I Care About You where we discuss or I discuss, but I do also have guests on there as well and we just discuss like life and this journey and what are some things to know about why you're feeling this way or that way and what are some mental wellness tips we can use, our theories we can use, or explain this, as far as feeling sad or self-worth or just all those things that kind of help us decipher who we are, what we're doing here, what our journey is. Do we have a mission? However, we're explaining our existence here and what brings us meaning. How do we get to that? How do we find that? And what is standing in our way? And It's really just a community of, like I say in the book and the reading I was doing, it's really just a community of a bunch of people who have amazing wisdom and they're willing to share it, even if it's in a journaling group. I mean, I just had a journaling group last night that I led, and the wisdom in the room was incredible and amazing, amazing. I don't claim to have all the answers, but I think us as a collective, we do have all the answers. And you, with inside yourself, you do have the answers to your own life. And it's finding that voice that is really probably at the essence of my work. How do you find that voice? And how do you know it's that voice when you hear something versus something else? And support. I think we all need support. I think that's, we hear all these stories about so and so did this all on their own. Well, they became this famous person or that, and they did it all on their own. And this, and so we think to achieve anything in life, we have to do it on our own, and that support is a weakness. But no, support is a human condition. Humans survive in groups, in packs, and communities, and support is part of that community. And if you remove everyone so we don't have that collective anymore, then survival becomes impossible, extremely hard. It's not, people aren't doing things on their own. You might have these accomplishments, like I put myself through college and I consider that an accomplishment, but I wouldn't say my college experience was without support. I think we all need support at some time and another, and we all need that collective community. And that's really the essence of my work, I would say.
Love it. Love it. Love it. I just followed your podcast.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Every little bit helps.
Uh
It's very grassroots.
yeah, same here. Same here. Zenful Conversations is also a podcast.
Yes, I believe I follow it. I
And yeah, that's great. Well, I love what you do. I love the work you do in this world, and thank you for doing this work, your work in this world.
back at you. I think it's so important, Thank you for showing up every day and doing this and showcasing people and their thoughts and ideas. And
Yeah, well, back to that for a second there. You were talking about us filling ourselves up. If we um nourish ourselves to be in alignment, um, is different to me prospectively, then it doesn't seem as much if I put it that way. Being in alignment is different than it's not as selfish because I need to be in alignment.
right, right, right.
But if we all did that, uh, then I gotta say, I think the divine flow would probably be hitting on all cylinders, you know?
Right.
So, I just think it's part of the process, but good Lord, it's a practice. We are seriously just practicing over here, I mean, and this is a tough life. I mean, there's no rule book. I
Right.
mean, there are books, but there's several different books you could follow. But what I'm saying is we're all kind of just winging it.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. And whatever rules we do think we know change all the time, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Alanis Morissette, that song, I think she's saying she realized that none of us have it all figured out yet,
Right.
so it's okay to make a mistake, but I don't have it all figured out yet, okay?
Right. And I don't think we ever will, not in
No,
this lifetime.
and I've made mistakes before. I'm gonna make them again.
Right, exactly.
I'm gonna make mistakes, so I'm already letting myself off the hook with it. Do you know who Dr. Darcy Lord is?
Boy, that name sounds familiar, but no,
Well,
what?
probably she came through the with the conversations and workshops, so you probably saw it in the
Oh,
email or
maybe
something.
so.
But
Maybe that's it.
she's a self-love expert, and she came up with these 5 tenets, which is because people say, like, oh, it's easy, just you got to love yourself, but nobody quite knows how to do it.
Right.
And it does seem quite lame, but that is the thing.
It's true. It's so true.
And so she's on a mission to help raise the vibration of the universe as well.
What are her tenets?
Um, yeah, the first one is to, I don't have them in front of me.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, it's recognize how you feel about it, but and show up for yourself, rescue yourself. No,
yeah.
so notice how you feel, and then rescue yourself from how you feel, because you've got to lift yourself up off the ground first.
Right.
you know,
Yeah,
and then let your highest self be your guiding. So so you ask your highest self, and whatever that is, let that be your guiding. I
right.
can't quite remember number 3. Let me see if I can. Um, but one of them, and I think it's the last one. I don't know it. I don't off the top of my head. I don't think it's going to be anywhere that I could find it.
Mm,
Um, I think it's the last one. It's to hold yourself accountable, but also let yourself off the hook,
yeah,
and knowing when you need both. But it's all about our relationship with ourselves.
it's so true. It's so true.
Yeah.
Giving ourselves grace to figure that out, you know.
So, is there anything else you'd like to share?
Um, well, let's see. Yes, like I said, you can go to my website, julianajbruno.com if you want to order my book, and thank you so much if you have or you intend to. That's amazing. You can tune into my podcast. It's available everywhere. I care about you with Juliana J. And this week we did one on, I did 100, a little over 100 affirmations for moving through disruptive change and uncertainty. And that was really fun to do, even though the subject matter's a little heavy, but just to realize how much just underlining uncertainty we all have and we're all walking around with today. When I was recording the podcast, I was actually like, just saying these affirmations out loud, and then there's a pause so the other person can say it, and then we go on to the next one. And during the pauses, I was just realizing like, I just feel so, supported in that brief moment. It'll go away the second you walk back out into the real world. It's hard to hang on to that. You do these practices. How many times have you done a meditation or something, or sound, done your sound work, and you're elated, like elated, and the world is amazing, and it's, this euphoria, and then you walk out your front door to go to the grocery store and you're immediately mad at somebody for cutting you off in traffic, or whatever the things are. It's really hard to hold on to that. And I think that's something we all need to give ourselves grace with. There's not a practice, unless it's a practice of, denial or something of that nature, where there's not a practice that is going to keep you in a space of bliss all the time, because perfection doesn't exist. That's just something that we're told exists, but perfection is in a fleeting moment, a second, the sunset, a bird, so a beautiful tree, a moment where you feel great. Your hair turns out one day. There's these little tiny moments of perfection that we need to stop and recognize that exist, that we often don't. But we don't live in perfection. We're imperfect. All of us are imperfect. Life is imperfect. This world right now is imperfect. And and just giving ourselves grace that no matter what we do, we're still going to live in this imperfection, and to find some sort of grace and space to hold that when you're feeling really imperfect. You make a huge mistake or something. It's okay. That's the energy of this world is not perfect. You're not going to find, you only find that space in fleeting little moments. So when you see it, celebrate it.
Yeah. Stay with something for a couple seconds.
Right,
You
right.
know, like Eckhart Tolle was talking about, or Kim Ang actually, it was, uh, you know, if you're looking at something, stay with it for 10 seconds
Yeah,
or just notice any of your life experience for 10 seconds. We're charging through.
right.
And to me, that equals peace or bliss, you know, bringing it all right down there. Because everything else is just, well, besides the noise and the stimulation, it's just practices to me, you know, in a way, because it's a practice, this is a practice, it's a practice.
Right.
Um, but it's the spaces in between.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
the spaces in between. So listen, I don't know if you know or not, but I'm putting together an ebook, a little PDF is what it is, a PDF download um of poems of peace
Oh, nice.
or just writings of peace. If you feel called to contribute a little writing, I would love it. Got the
Okay.
deadline till Wednesday, but I got my little packet going here.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
definitely contribute something. Okay, by
that would be
Wednesday.
wonderful. By Wednesday, yeah, if you would, the 15th of October.
Okay.
Um, and it's actually a little bit more than I when I first thought, oh, I'll just get a couple of poems and put them together in a little pamphlet, email it out. But I've had it's been very well received, and I've received so many beautiful, and it has been the experience of this is extraordinary. I'm
Mm,
receiving a poem of peace. It feels good coming in, and then I read it and I receive it again.
right.
And this is the coolest experience. So now I'm kind of putting them together and trying to make sense of what poem leads into the next poem. And
Oh,
what a
nice.
beautiful, oh my God, this is just fabulous. Yeah, so I'm loving it. I'm just loving it. And I guarantee you I'll be doing something like this again.
Wow, that's so great. It's such a process to put them together in a flow.
It's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, a
It's my
story
first
of its
experience
own.
like this. It's my first experience doing something like this, really, I think. But anyway, I mean, I've made workbooks and stuff myself, but this, I probably would have done this myself, but I'm not that skilled as a writer.
You never know. Don't say that.
Well, I'll get there. I know, I know her. She don't do things shabby.
Right, right, right.
So actually, she's a bit of a pain sometimes.
Well,
What
aren't
you
we
gonna do,
all?
right? What you do? And that's the beautiful part of aging too, is I don't care.
Uh-huh, that's so great. I love it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, we gotta let ourselves be. If not now, when? And there's a book by Bronnie, Bronnie, Bronnie Ware.
Mm.
She has a book out. It's old, it's not new. The top 5 regrets of the dying.
Oh,
And they're all just letting myself be happier or not caring about what people think as much, working too much, wishing I spend more time with my friends and something else. But it's like every single one of them is something you can do today.
right. Yeah,
It's not the things I did that I kind of wish I didn't do. Sweep
right,
under the rug.
right, right. But even
It's
that may be
those
who you are,
things.
right?
Well, I know there's a couple things I'm hanging on to.
It's hard to let go of some things.
Sometimes, some of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, what a joy. What a joy. What a joy. What a joy. Thank you so much for sharing your love and energy here.
Thank
and having a
you.
conversation. Yeah. Yeah. Look at my website, sign up for something. I would love to have you share in space and circle with us.
I would love to. I will definitely do that for
And I
sure.
do. Mention your website again, and is there do you have an email list to sign up or something?
Yes, you can sign up on my website. You can even email me through my website if you want to chat or you have something to say. And it's JulianaJ.Bruno.com. So it's my full name, and I have one N in my name. Oftentimes it's seen with two, and there's a J in the middle. So JulianaJBruno.com. And you can find everything about me there. You can see what I offer. There's a link to my podcast. There's links to my books. Buy it anywhere, and a little bit about me, et cetera, et cetera. So, and you can always reach
Wonderful,
out to me
wonderful.
and get on my newsletter.
Yeah, for sure. I will actually drop those links in the if on YouTube anyway, in the description part so people can click on it from there. Thank you again, my
Thank
dear. Thank
you.
you so
Thank you
much.
so
You stay
much.
safe and stay well, and thank you so much for all the love you give.
You too. You too. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank
All
you.
right. Take care.
Namaste.